let's go to, we got Burst Lightning. I've mentioned this card a lot. 1 red, deal 2 damage to any target. With Kicker, it'll deal Kicker 4. It'll deal 4 damage to any target instead. Solid, like a shock plus. This is just a great card. Very efficient. Scales into the game pretty well. It's a B for me. I love these cards that are on the draw. When you're on the draw, they can help you break serve. And like I said, I'm going to be a sucker for drafting this with Tolarian Terrors. So yeah, just a B for me.
B for me as well. It's any target is so huge on this. Sure, most of the time the target is going to be creature, but like 4 damage, having your good removal spell on turn 1, good fine removal spell, I guess, for 5, be able to like kill the opponent is huge.
Absolutely, totally agree. And keep in mind that you're going to have 2 of these, like not all the time, but you're going to have 2 of these a lot. And you 8 damage to the face is like a real game plan.
Yep. While still providing you like attacks early game, tempo maybe, it's beautiful. Fanatical Firebrand for red. That's a 1/1 with haste. You can sack it to deal tap and sack it to deal 1 damage to any target. There is no pirate synergies in this set. No sacrifice synergies in. What I mean is like when you sack something happens.
Yeah.
So I'm very down.
This is more, the only synergies with this are like the rare that brings back creatures with power or whatever. There's like some stuff like that. That's really the only synergies with this. This is not a synergy card.
I don't count rare synergies at all. When evaluating the card, I'm evaluating like rares don't exist because that's going to be most of the time.
Yeah.
What I like to say like to people that are like, oh, this could be good with that or so on, like rares start existing once you have them in your deck. Before that.
Exactly. Then you need to evaluate. Then you adjust your evaluations for cards like this.
Yeah. Man.
Baseline. Yeah. Baseline. So what would you give this grade?
D.
I have a grade in mind.
D.
A D. Yeah. I was gonna say D. I could see it going up to a D plus or something. If the format gets really sweaty, everyone's playing a bunch of 1-drop type thing. But yeah, it's a D.
But it's also like it's so overshadowed by the Healer's Hook, even though it kills it. It is so overshadowed by the 1/1 in black.
Oh yeah, you can't really evaluate it against. Well, yeah, I guess if you're picking it against Healer's Hook, I'd always take Healer's Hook. But if you're already in red, and that's generally going to be the case when you're looking at a card like this, are you going to want it? Well, if the Healer's Hook is the meta or whatever, then yes, right? So it gets a bump if that's the case.
It was not bad.
I mean, keep in mind, if we're evaluating this for arena play specifically, like when you play in Mythic, you play against a lot. Like if the metagame is poor, if it's not well color balanced, then and everyone's just trying, all the good players are trying to do the Healer's Hock thing, you're going to play against it a lot. So you need to know how to adapt to that.
And the problem is like the pick existing, which is not great with this, but it is great with the.
It is great with the Hawk, but this can break up that
the +1/+1 counters existing, which very quickly make Hawk out of reach.
Yeah. Late in the game, this card's awful to draw. Awful.
Yeah. Just a D. If there were pirate synergies, this would be way better, but they're not.
All right, let's go move on to Courageous Goblin. All right, Courageous Goblin, red 1, 2/2. When it attacks while you control a creature with power 4 or greater, it gets +1/+1 and gains menace until end of turn.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is like looking to be in a Gruul deck where we have a lot of 4-power creatures. You play it on turn 2, maybe follow that up with a 4-power creature. You got a 3/2 menace, so it's gonna be hard to block. I like this card. I specifically for that. It's gonna be better, much better in Gruul than in most other decks, though, right? Because we're
maybe white with some counters, maybe white a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you could put a counter on this and pick it up or whatever too. Yeah, there's other ways to get 4 power in play, but I think generally you're just going to try to do that. It's a solid 2-drop. Like I loved Hand That Feeds, and this is similar but worse, right? Hand That Feeds hit harder, and there was no way for your opponent really to like take away its ability to get menace and stuff. Like once you had Delirium, you had Delirium. It was very difficult for them to take that from you.
Yep.
Whereas this, they can just pick apart your 4-power creatures, which they're generally going to try to do, or they're going to die anyways. So then once they strand you with just this card gets a lot worse. So I think it's worse than Hand That Feeds in that regard. But it does proc earlier in the game usually. So it's okay. I'll give it a what do I want to give this? I'm going to give it a C minus, just because it costs 2 mana.
I'm gonna go to C. I think this is a 2-drop in red. 2-drops are much weaker in this set, so I quite like this card. Yeah, and I like 2 toughness with +1/+1 counters if you're gonna do that. So yeah, quite like it. Next up, you got Axguard. Is the Axguard Cavalry for 1 and a red?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a 2/2 that can tap to make any other creature have haste. Not bad, not bad. It's normal started, right? For this set. It's also it does make your 3-drops 4-drops now all of a sudden. Well, I don't that attacks instead of this, so that's pretty damn good. I'm gonna see.
I'm giving it a C minus. Same kind of category as the other card. Deep in the game, this is a weird one because deep in the game, it is a little bit better if you're in one of those grindy games because every big creature you play after it's going to be able to attack right away. But yeah, it's just a fine 2-drop. I'm not unhappy playing it. I think they get worse in multiples. There's no real reason to stack them, right?
Yeah, I still like a C. The thing is, like, every deck needs 2-drops, right? And then it's if you have. I think we were grading them a bit lower, just from what we expect from 2-drops, but usually you gotta pick them up higher than any creature in other costs, right? Just to have you need that critical amount of 2-drops, basically any deck. It could be 1 mana removal spells or 2 mana removal spell instead of them in the deck that doesn't care about getting on board that early, that doesn't care being proactive, but you do need 2-drops, so if they're not that great, it still means that you gotta pick them and you gotta play them, and they gotta be somewhere around C. There's gotta be a good amount of 2-drops with C, C+, something like that for me, because I need to play them, even in slower decks. But there are good removal spells for little mana, so that's nice. That can be changed.
All right. Firebrand Archer, red 1, 2/1. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 1 to each opponent. 1 toughness, much worse than 2 toughness. This is just flat out filler. It's definitely worse than the other 2. I guess it's probably better than the cavalry. It might be better than both, I guess, in blue-red specifically. Just because it'll trigger a decent amount. Like it's going to get into combat. Is the thing. It'll just be a little bit better later in the game if you're like chaining draw spells or something. But yeah, I'm just going to give it a D. It's not a card you're going to prioritize or anything, and it is a 2-drop, so it will end up in your deck even when you don't want it to sometimes.
I'm just on a D for this one, and we talked about it a little bit before. When this is a 1/3, it can be really good because it blocks the 2-drops. When this is a 2/1. If you're gonna go for this, the opponent is just gonna repeat real quick. The opponent is gonna deal more damage to you than you to them if they're attacking and you're not blocking, because you're also not gonna be attacking with this. So this just trades most of the time, and this 1 damage doesn't do anything. So just a D, very medium. Would be cool if this is better. I don't know how it's gonna be better. Like there are also good 1/1s in white and black.
Yeah, there's just too many things that trade with it. Like we said there's both a Elvish Visionary and a Ravenous Rat in this set. So anything that's a 2-drop that only has 1 toughness gets a lot worse.
So yeah, no thank you. Sure Strike is the next one for 1 and a red. It's an instant card that's been ever present in most core sets. Target creature gets +3/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Nothing special. Everybody always envisions this is killing huge creature with a small creature, and sure, yeah, that can happen. But also, it's a trick that doesn't save your creatures from -X/-X or deal X damage, which is kind of nice when a trick can also do that. So it's only applicable in combat. It costs kind of a lot. It has literally 1 application, so I'm just on a D. If you need a trick, you take it. It's not unplayable. It's fine as a trick. It's just
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, it's a D for me. It's like every other. Which one do you prefer, Sure Strike or Kindled Fury? This was a poll done by Ben White, the lead design of this set, I believe.
Wait, Kindle's
He said
Fury
this
is
a
the
long
1
time
mana
ago.
trick?
Yeah, Kindle Fury's +1/+0 and First Strike
Yeah,
for 1 mana.
Scry? Or it was not Scry?
No, the no Scry version. They've also printed this card with Scry as well, but
No, I
he was
prefer
just
the Sure
asking.
Strike.
I remember him asking this question on Twitter like well over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. It could even be longer than that. And I wonder if they were like designing the set at that time, or he was like starting to, or something. I wonder if that was like a which one should I put in this set?
I prefer this one just because the +1, it is so hard to win combat with a +1. And it's so
Yeah,
easy.
no, that's why I agree. I'm Sure Strike every time. It was a close poll. That's why I was
Oh, it was a close poll.
bewildered by this.
I think the +1
This one,
+0
this
First
one
Strike.
like doubles as a damage spell.
I think it's basically unplayable, the +1 +0, because it's never reach, and if they know what tricks exist, a lot of times the opponent can be just like, I'm gonna double block, and then if you use it, you're losing 2 cards.
Exactly.
With this, it's much harder, but it's still not great. It's just better.
Yeah, D for me. Classic combat trick. Basically, all the combat tricks are going to end up being Ds because they're you'll get them. That one doesn't. Thrill of Possibility. Red 1 instant. Additional cost. Discard a card. Draw 2 cards. So this is one of those ones. I don't know if we want to add a ceiling to it or something because it's going to be much worse in some decks than others. Blue red specifically is going to very much want this card.
White red is not going to
care. Other decks don't really want it, right?
Red
black might use it for some threshold enabling, maybe. I suppose. And blue red is going to also want this for threshold.
Blue red is the thing, right?
Yeah. This is definitely like, for my blue red decks, I think this card is a C. I actively want it. I want to play them. I want to stack up on them as long as I'm getting a couple terrors or threshold payoffs or whatever. But in other decks, it's kind of just a D. I'm not that happy to play it, especially in best of 1, where you already have like smooth curves almost every game and all that stuff. So,
want to give it a ceiling, like a C or a C?
Yeah, I'll give it a C ceiling and a D overall, if that's okay. That's what I wanted to do.
I'm okay with a D plus. How highly I pick it, but it's
I can do that as well. Yeah.
It's definitely like for me. It's definitely it is the card I think for the blue-red, because there's not much support for just playing your spells pretty fast. Okay, we got a little bit of a weird one. Crackling Cyclops. For 20 red, it's a 0/4 wizard. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. So it's a ground creature, which is 3 drops that have this effect are usually flyers, where we like them. And there have been some times, I think last time in Crimson WoW, where it was a 2-drop, and that's a huge difference when this is a 2-drop. I don't know if it was 0/3 or 1/3, I can't remember. But when it's a 2-drop, like you can pick a lot of them, put a lot of them in your deck, draft around them. Festival Crasher, I think it was the name, and it was one of my favorite builds in the set, especially since red was underdrafted. 3-drops, it's hard to build around 3-drops. You cannot put too many, because the main problem with 3-drops, if you guys are not sure why we like 2-drops so much more, is and to build around them and stuff. 2-drops you can play on turn 3, 3-drops you cannot play on turn 2. That's basically it. And of course the other thing is double spelling is so much harder with 3-drops, especially when you have a crap ton of 3-drops, and so much easier with 2-drops. 4-5 mana, easy to double spell with 2-drop. 4-5 mana, basically impossible to, very very hard to double spell with a 3-drop if you have a lot of them. Not a big fan. No evasion. 3-drop. I hope it's good, because I like this effect. Don't see anything really that nice with it.
This is just a blue-red card, right? You're going to never play this in any other archetype, I don't think.
It was a red... the 2-drop was a red-white card in Crimson WoW, I think that.
Yeah.
Because you could play cards from your graveyard more often for 1 mana.
Yeah, I actually like this card. This is exactly the kind of common 3-drop I want in blue-red. But I don't like, outside of blue-red, you're never going to want to put this card in your deck. So uh, in a blue-red deck, if I'm already in blue, and I'm never taking this card early, I'm only going to take it when I know I'm in blue-red or whatever. So I don't know. I don't really know how to like grade it perfectly, but I'll give it a D plus because I think it has an archetype that I'll actively want it in. It's probably the 3-drop I do want in blue red from the ones I can think of at common. So
the Festival Clash was a 2-drop and a 1/3 as well.
Yeah, but this can block basically every 3-drop. There's some that are like 4/2s or whatever, but it's gonna be able to block the turn it comes into play, and then it's so threatening. Like you don't even need to have a trick. What are they like? They can't attack into it if you have any mana. You have fleeting distraction. Like are they gonna attack into 1 blue mana? A lot of the times, you're just gonna blow them out with fleeting distraction.
Yeah, I hope it's gonna be good, man. I really hope.
I think it'll be good. I think it will be good in blue red, and I think it will not because it's gonna be able to clock them very quick. Like I'm thinking of it more as a wall that can also turn the corner later in the game, and it's kind of what blue red wants. Blue red is going to be kind of stumbling over its own feet in the early game, and I think this can kind of shore up that you can get to that turn 5-6 spot where you'll be able to double spell maybe 2 turns in a row and turn the corner.
I want a D or D plus. D or D plus. I'm gonna start it as a D, but I'm definitely gonna try it in blue red, and I hope it's gonna be good in blue red. It gets a little bit crazy with Balmor. With Balmor, it does get crazy. So D for a start, and we're gonna see where it goes. Goblin Borders for 2 and red. It's a 3/2 raid. This creature enters with a +1/+1 counter if you attacked this turn. Yeah, very vanilla card for Foundations.
It's got some aggressive flavor text, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I've never seen the all caps flavor text.
I've seen it somewhere. I can't remember where. On some ogres or trolls or something like that.
Yeah, this is a weird card. This is just I don't know. It's just a D for me. It's like curve filler. Red green, I guess we'll want it. Like it's nice with the 2-drop goblin, right? That's kind of what they're getting at here is even if you're not in green red, you can still enable your 2/2 with this 3-drop, but this is just filler. It's not.
But also you're gonna have to attack with your 2-drop.
Yeah,
trades probably.
Yeah, if you get to getting clean, that's a really good start, though. But yes, it does.
Yeah, I'm on a D as well. Like the reward is not huge. The downside is it's really bad stat, really badly statted. I think in this set you have better 3-drops in basically every color, so just a D.
All right, moving on to Goblin Surprise. Creatures you control get red 2 instant. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn, or create 2 red goblin creature tokens. That's actually the first time I'm seeing this card. So this is both an enabler for tokens and a payoff. I like that. That's interesting. That's cool. It's a good trumpet blast effect. Trying to think, classically it's going to be in red white where you can be able to make tokens, kind of boost your team. But this is also maybe black red. You'll have extra tokens around for the various, like the 5/4 demon and whatever other cards that we had synergies with. I don't know. This card's fine. Like it's not great. You're going to get them. It's not a game plan to just draft 5 of these and just keep casting them. You'll be dead too quickly. So I don't know. I this is a D, but I do like the card.
I'm also gonna give it a D. It's the problem is the 3 mana, right? For that instant. It is kind of cool in multiples. The way it's still a 3-drop in multiples, but that once you have enough of a board state, it buffs your creatures. Ones that you already played. It's gonna be so easy to get this, I think. And
I think so too.
It's gonna be cool if it's better than what it looks like. Where did we have that M20 or something? The 4 mana make it to 1/1s with prowess.
4 mana.
Or was that DMU? 4 mana, instant speed, make 2 1/1s, and they have prowess.
I don't remember that card at all.
That's what I
saw
loved.
Yeah, that's a lot better. Like prowess is a totally different ball game.
Yeah. It was M21, so it was a core set. I wish they printed that one. That was beautiful. I didn't realize how good it is at first as well. Yeah, just a D. Whatever. It's fine.
All right.
Sower of Chaos. For 3 and a red, it's a 4/3, and for 2 and a red, target creature cannot block this turn. Yeah, very corsetti. Pretty badly statted, I think.
Yeah.
I don't care. D.
Yeah, just a flat D. It's got 4 power, so that's what's propping it up. In fact, so it can enable some of those ferocious synergies or whatever the other goblin. But yeah,
help you attack later on, I guess.
Filler, bad statted 4-drop with like an ability that has some value.
Very inefficient, sure, but it can help.
Yeah.
Oh.
Moving on to Involuntary Employment. Red 3, sorcery, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste until end of turn. Create a treasure token. Okay, I wasn't sure if this is the one that had to connect to get a treasure token or whatever.
No, I just get it.
Yeah, you just get it. So that kind of, in and of itself, the 4 mana can be an issue for like the ghoul or whatever, but it is going to give you the treasure token. So if you have the ghoul, you will be able to sack the creature for sure because you'll have the mana laying around from it. Threatened effects have gotten a lot better as creatures have gotten better. This set is kind of not in that ballpark though. The creatures are a little bit more tame, especially the top end. We've already recognized that. So I don't know. This one's weird. Like I'm not going to play this in blue red. Maybe in red white if I don't have removal, but I'd rather have removal. But it is basically a red black card for me. Where
it's a red black
sacrifice. Yeah, and in red black, it's nice. It's probably like a C plus in red black, and then like a D everywhere else.
I could see it being a B minus in red black.
Yeah, you have Eaten Alive and you have the Ghoul just off the bat. And some of the and there's the uncommon and there's uncommons and stuff too. But
I think actually the Amulet is gonna be nice in red black.
It might.
So, do we get this like a C plus B minus, maybe B minus ceiling in the right deck?
Yeah, you could do that. That's fine. I can get behind that.
But
it's going to be very easy to sacrifice. Yes.
Yeah. There's the commons. There's some uncommon. One common. I would say 2 commons actually. With but one stays on the battlefield. Stealing the 12/8 green dino. Yeah. So I'm just gonna give this as a base grade, like a D probably. Like you'd never take it unless you're going red black.
Yeah, you never want it otherwise.
But ceiling is B minus.
I'll play it red white sometimes if I absolutely have no removal and I need a way to push through, but that's rare. Especially there's enough combat tricks in this set that would be better in that scenario, anyways.
Yeah, better take a combat trick. Spitfire like Gak for 3 and a red. 3/4 landfall. Whenever land you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Wait, this is also infinite damage. Wait, is it? No, this is not infinite damage. It's not infinite damage. Never mind.
No. No, it's just a way to enable it, sort of.
Yeah. I mean, it is in this makes it so. Once you play a land, so you have this one, you have the 3-drop, right? The cleric, and then you play your 5 mana mythic and play a land, and you win, right?
What is it? The mythic? Oh yeah. If you have the 3-drop in play, then this on turn 4, turn 5 you cast a bacon in the pie or something, and you do something else, and then turn 6 you play the 5/5, play a land. Yes, they die.
Yeah. So there are.
That's true with anything. Like any way you deal them damage, you can do it with burst lightning. At that point, you can do it with healing. Any way that starts the chain of damage or life gain. Doesn't even need to.
That's true. It's like anything.
Yeah, it's not going to be that hard. That's why the combo is just so ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. It's going to happen all the time.
You just need to attack with anything, right?
You're going to feel bad when you play that 5-drop and you don't infinite your opponent.
Yeah. This one I don't care about at all. I'm just gonna give it a D.
I'm gonna give it a D minus. Just never want to put this card.
Yeah, D minus seems fine. Give it a D minus for me. It's like yeah. This is
bottom of the barrel 4 drops that you can maybe slip in your deck if you absolutely need it. But
If this was a 2-drop though, it would be different, but it's not. I mean, not with the same stats.
Yeah, 3/4 for 2.
No, the same stats, not the same stats. No.
All right, let's go to Gorehorn Raider. Red 4/4/4. When this creature enters, if you attack this turn, it deals 2 to any target. Didn't we have a card like this before? Was it a 4-drop?
I don't know.
There's a card like this. I don't know. It's just, again, it's once you get to turn 5 and you're attacking, you can like the good thing about it is you get to do like those semi-bluff attacks where they don't know what to do. You attack with your 3/2 into their 4/4 and they're like, oh, they might have Sure Strike, maybe I shouldn't block, whatever. I guess I block, and then you just it was a semi-bluff, you get to play this and kill their 4/4 or whatever. But in general, it's a 5-drop that doesn't really do much. Not a fan of this card. Might play it sometimes at the top of my curve specifically if I don't have any 5-drops that are better, but I'm just going to give it a, I don't know, D minus. I'll give it a D.
With a D. This card's always, I'm always thinking like they could really just like be 4/4 that deal 2 damage to any target. And that's it. That could be fine, right? That's not completely broken or anything, right?
No. That would be an uncommon though, I think.
Yeah, but I think that's fine for a common. Like, it's not like, oh, this is I see it is, I want to have 5 of them in the deck. You're just going to play maybe 1 or 2 still. So, raid seems, might happen a lot of times, but the reward is not there. When it doesn't happen, that's when the trouble starts. It's like, I'm playing a 5-mana 4/4. Incinerating Blast for 4 and a red. It's a sorcery. It deals 6 damage to target creature. You may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Why is this sorcery? I never understand it.
I don't know why. They've been going back and forth with these red ones.
Yeah. It's like it's never been good. So make it an instant. Just make it an instant at least. I don't get it. Kills most things, sure. I don't think that I think in this set almost always, like basically always, when you play this, you're gonna be trading down in mana. And that's true for every 5-mana removal spell, but in this set especially, it's gonna be like, you're gonna be trading way down in mana. It's gonna be like, you're gonna be killing something that's worth 3, I think, most of the time. And that makes it really bad. So I'm just gonna give it a D. If you need removal, top-end removal, that's okay to play.
Yeah, it's kind of whatever your deck is missing. I'm also going to give it a D. Like we saw that other 4/4. If you don't have any 5-mana cards in your deck, if your deck's light on removal, you play this thing. If your deck's light on creatures and threats, then you play this stupid 4/4, right? Like whatever hole in your deck is, if you need a 5-mana card, you'll get this. It's going to wheel. You'll get it 8 pick, whatever. You're not going to play most copies of this card you get.
There's been something that Ben Stark has been saying. Like, so when you play like low curve decks, you're more fine with high cost removal because like you play out everything.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, he's 100% correct in that. Yeah, you are. You're getting ahead on board, so your expensive removal, it doesn't matter. You have power in play, right? It's the other way around. It's bad when you're being reactive. You really need your 5 mana cards to catch you up in the game, and that doesn't, right? If you're not able to deal with what's on the board already, spending 5 mana to kill one of those threats is just not going to happen.
Because if you're playing a slower game, you're drawing more cards and stuff like that, so you don't have time to play a 5-mana removal spell. But I don't think I agree with him. Before I was very much agreeing with him. Nowadays, a lot of creatures, and even in this set, have ETB effects. So, and especially in this set, they're not going to be huge creatures. So like your 5-mana removal spell in your aggro deck, I think that has fallen out of favor. I loved to quote him on that before, until a couple of years ago, I think. But now it's like, it's never going to feel good. In those aggro decks, I'd rather play a completely random trick and deal a little bit less damage, I guess, than have a 5-mana removal spell. It just like trades down so much, and yeah, I really don't agree with it anymore. What is this? Okay, you read it.
Bolt Wave. 1 red, sorcery, deal 3 damage to each opponent. It's just a lava spike. It's a kind of a commander plant, I guess. Yeah. It's an F. Don't put this card in your deck.
F. And if you guys don't think this is an F, this is a very good card. Foundations is good for learning things. That's it's like good to get back. But I mean, it's not even for people that have been playing 10 or 20 years.
I'm trying to think right now. It's a weird thought, but would I play this in two-headed giant, the way the rules used to be? 30 life.
Oh.
It deals 6.
6 life.
Still probably bad.
That's interesting.
Sometimes the pre-releases are two-headed giant.
But I don't know.
I mean, I might just for the lulls, but yeah, wouldn't be happy about it.
You're probably gonna get all of it, but it's an uncommon, so it's also an uncommon.
Yeah. All right, next up we got Frenzied Goblin.
I just want to say just one thing, like that. If anybody thinks this card is like playable or good, it's damage to face for mana and for cards is basically always gonna be worse than advancing the board and dealing damage that way. Because it's always, you need to get them to 0. You don't want to like, I'm dealing a lot of damage at one point, and then it doesn't matter if opponent wins with 1 life or with 50 life. It's the same thing. So like board advantage is gonna, especially for aggro decks, proactive things, that is what's gonna advance you to killing them in 99% of the games. Much better than just dealing face damage. Sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to say.
Oh, no problem. Frenzied Goblin, you go.
Whoop.
Your turn, Lola.
Oh, it's me? Frenzied Goblin for red. I heard you say Frenzied Goblin, so it's like...
I was trying to push it. Not spend too much time on Lava Spike.
Yeah, that's smart. For red, whenever it's a 1/1, whenever this creature attacks, you may pay red. If you do, target creature can't block this turn. No, I don't want it. It's like, but everything is gonna be able to block this thing. So
like one of the problems with this card is there's a lot of tokens and stuff in this set, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think this card is bad though. I'm always like annoyed when I play against this because I don't put garbage creatures in my deck. I'm not the I don't like to put bad 1-drops in my deck, so this card punishes me a lot more, put it that way, than the average player. But yeah, in general, this card is just kind of weak. But it's like, you know, if you're having an aggressive deck, something like Gruul Aggro, I'm not going to be disappointed if I play it.
I am. I think it's. I'm just gonna give it a D-.
I'll give it a D. I wasn't gonna quite axe it, but it will end up in my deck sometimes.
Yeah, same. That's why it's not an F, I guess.
When it's good, it's real good.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like once you have them on the back foot, it kind of buries them.
But with all the random tokens and creatures in basically every color except blue, it's so hard.
Next up, we got Bulk Up. Red 1, double target creature's power until end of turn. Flashback, red 4. Interesting card, you know, kind of a Temur Battle Rage type effect. The flashback is kind of interesting, right?
Yep.
You know, this kind of another kind of card that I wouldn't mind discarding to thrill a possibility, and then you just have a big effect late in the game. Terra closes the game out a turn early or whatever, but in general, not particularly good. It doesn't win combats. That's really its big downside. Yeah. Double strike is a lot better than doubling the creature's power.
It's damage to face. Right? So this is damage to face.
Yeah. So while if I have like 3 thriller possibilities in my deck, I'm pretty happy to play this just because it's kind of a free thing to put in the graveyard that's also going to juice my terrors or whatever. It's not a card I'm looking to take. I'll give it a D. It's probably a D- though.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a D-. But there's like a cool thing you can do. Like you have a 0/4 in Boros. And then you put a +1/+1 counter on it, make it fly. So now it's 4 powered, and then you double. And that's what, 16? No, that's 14 damage, right?
So 4. Yeah, it is nice with the Cyclops.
Yeah, that's 14 damage. That's pretty cool. You're gonna be dying to that sometimes. Goblin Negotiation for X and double red. Goblin Negotiate sorcery. It deals X damage to target creature. Create a number of 1/1 red goblin creature tokens equal to the amount of excess damage dealt to that creature this way. That's a lot to pay. That is a lot to pay. There's so much to pay. For 4 mana dealing 2, for 5 mana 3. It's a really interesting mana sink with the pick. There are some of these mana sinks with a pick. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess it is going to fit into the decks with the pick. There is that. It's super inefficient. It's kind of like, to me, I'm kind of comparing it almost directly to that 5 mana sorcery that deals 6 damage. They're kind of in the same ballpark. This is like a card that's going to scale into the game better, but it's going to kill smaller creatures off the bat. But we don't, like we said, there's not that many big creatures worried about killing. So I don't know. It's just a D to me. If it's the absolute top end of your deck in like a really low to the curve, low to the ground deck with picks and stuff, it's fine to play, I think.
A lot of picks do make it better. A lot of picks do make it better.
Yeah.
So D, but if I'm playing a lot of picks, I'm kind of fine playing this, maybe somewhere in a C- ballpark.
Yeah. Negotiations. Where's this thing? Here we go. What did you say? D?
D, yeah.
D, yeah, that's right. I actually love this card. Slumbering Cerberus. Red 1, 4/2. Does not untap during your untap step. Morbid, untap it.
Yeah.
In your unstep specifically, that triggers. Interesting. I mean, it's really good stats for a 2-drop, but
the drawback
is
each end step. It's each end step.
Oh, each end step. Sure. Yeah. So you'll be able to do it in their turn.
Wait, but Morbid is usually your end. Isn't Morbid your end step usually? Is Morbid always each?
No, I thought there was like a draw a card one that triggered on both end step when it was originally. I cannot remember for the life of me, but I think it's not uncommon for them to be both end steps. I don't know. I like this card just because it can trade up. It's kind of more of a wall than an attacker. You're not going to like play this and plan on attacking with it every turn. That's not going to happen. I kind of like this more in like a blue-red deck that'll trade up. It'll trade with every 3-drop and a lot of the 4-drops and stuff. And maybe with some burst lightnings or something, you will get to hit them, a couple times. It doesn't take many hits with this for it to pay for itself. So I would consider this like a solid 2-drop, which is like a C rating to me.
Yeah, I would go with the C as well, but it's, I kind of like it. Yeah, Morbid is basically always your end step, and in this set, this is your end step most of the time. So this is weird to be each. Not bad. A Braid. For 1 and a red, choose 1. A Braid deals 3 damage to target creature, destroy target artifact. Most of the time just instant speed, kill something with 3 or less toughness. Artifacts, not that many in this set, basically none. But doesn't matter, it's just 3 damage, that's nice. I think for this set, without any artifacts that I care about, I don't think it's a B-, I think it's a C+.
Oh, I'm gonna give it a B. I think it's the epitome of a B. It kills. It's like the most efficient way to kill basically every creature we're worried about.
Basically anything though.
There's just so many small creatures. Like it's 2 mana murder to me, and not quite obviously, but
yeah, I can give it a B-. It's also in this set most things have 3, and the opponent is gonna be putting counters on things, so you can kill it there. Equipping the pick, killing the pick sometimes, and then trading with a creature or just blocking it well is really nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, B- seems fine. I was just thinking like when there is, it gets so much better when there is like something that is some artifacts. So we've had it a couple of times, or once or twice I think, where there was like a 5 or 6 mana artifacts that were kind of nice. So worked.
Yeah, there's very few of that. Yeah,
incredible.
The only thing I can think of, like, there's that blue wall that this will kill. Other than that, like, most of the other things just aren't going to be worth.
Maybe it's Amulet is going to be good in the set, which sacrifices things. That's an artifact. Maybe.
All right, we got Heartfire Immolator, red 1, 2/2 prowess. Sacrifice this creature. For 1 red mana, sacrifice this creature. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker. This is just a great 2-drop. One of the better 2-drops in the set, as far as non-rares. Yeah, I really like this card. It's kind of making me question my other red cards because I think it's about the same as an Abrade or a Burst Lightning. It's kind of in that same. It's going to be
better.
Need dependent. You think it's better than those? I'll give it a B. I gave those other cards B, so I guess I have to give this a B.
I'm gonna give B to this as well. One of the better 2-drops.
Yeah.
The huge part of it is like it's a 2/2 prowess, That's big. But also, like, when you have red up, it's such a bad removal target. Like, anything they do to mess up the combat with this one, it's gonna be fine. That's big. That's big. Fire Annihilation for 2 and a red. Fire Annihilation in instant speed deals 5 damage to target creature. Exile up to 1 target equipment attached to that creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead.
Rip your picks.
Yo, no, this sucks. I didn't know this was in the set.
Yeah, it's really good against the picks.
Oh man, that fucking sucks. I mean, it's 5 mana, kill basically anything. Sorry, 5 mana.
It is almost just
mana.
Yeah, it is almost just murder, right?
Yeah, it's basically better murder, I think.
Yeah.
And you exile it, right? And no anti-pick. It's just great. I think it's a B.
Yeah, I agree. It is a B.
It's great removal. Maybe the best removal we saw. Oh my god.
This is going to get a lot of picks. Like, when you have this thing, there's going to be a lot of people playing picks, and it's going to get them.
Look at the this is uncommon. Fucking picks, man.
All right, we got Brazen Scourge. Red 1, 3/3 haste. Solid 3-drop. Decent stats. Not great stats, but decent stats. It's got haste. Not really a synergy card or anything. The double red is a little bit prohibitive. I guess it's just a C.
It's so hard to play on turn 3. I mean, not so hard, but it's pretty hard.
It would be a C+ if it was like red 2 or something, but
I think I want a C-. It's just too hard to play. Maybe even lower than C-. I'm gonna start it as a C-, but a bit too hard to play. Very simple card. Fire Spitter Whelp. For 2 and a red, it's a flying 2/2, but whenever you cast a non-creature or dragon spell, I don't think there are any dragons, but okay, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Okay, this is something I'm interested about. This is like, we said the 2 mana 1/3 that does have this effect is really nice, because it doesn't die. Well, this one has flying, so it's not gonna die. So you can just...
yeah, you're not going to be that interested in trading it off. I don't know. I'm still kind of low on it. I think
I like it.
I mean, it's fine. Like, it's weird because the decks that are going to trigger this a lot are not going to be decks that want to play a 3-mana 2/2. Like, the decks that, like, I feel like this is just worse than the Cyclops because it can't block. Because I'm going to want to drag the game on, and I'm going to want to block. I'm going to want to break off my foot.
I think I'm gonna block with my...
But I'm not like unhappy playing this or anything. I think this is just an okay card. The thing that's different about this in the Cyclops is I'm gonna be happy playing this in basically every deck because it's gonna trigger, a couple times every game. Even in my white red decks or whatever, it's gonna wear the pick nicely, that kind of stuff. So it's fine. It's solid. It's not it's just a straight C for me.
There are no more dragons. C seems fine for me. I like this. I mean, there's one more dragon, I guess. C seems fine. I like this quite a lot. Yeah. Maybe even higher than C, but of course not for every deck, right?
Correct. Seismic Rupture, red 2. Seismic Rupture deals 2 damage to each creature without flying. I know this card pretty well, actually. I had this in my deck when I made the finals of the Pro Tour.
Nice.
Yeah, this card is a sideboard card, just an X for me. You're never going to main deck this card.
Yep.
I say never.
Terror deck?
The Terror deck is the one deck where I might play it. The without flying thing feels pretty bad in this set. There's a lot of common flying creatures.
That sucks that it's without flying.
Yeah, like the Hawk, the 2/3 flyer, like a lot of this stuff, like against the white. Generally, this kind of effect is really good against white, right? And it doesn't even seem that good against white in this set. It's not good against black. It's not going to be particularly good against green. So where is it good? It's good against red decks. Red decks are the decks that it's kind of attacking, and so I don't know. I'm not in love with it. It's just a sideboard card. I guess I can give it a D-, but
same D-
instead of an F, but D-, and then we give it the X designation.
Just because of that terror deck, and you can
one of the best cards in your deck in certain situations. It's just
I think it's
those situations
okay in a terror deck. You play it for like you can discard it with Trill Possibility if it's not good. That helps.
Did you say it's an A?
What? What? No, no, no. I think it's okay in a terror deck.
Okay. I was like,
No,
what? I was like,
no.
excuse me.
Oh my god. All right, yeah.
I was about to end the call.
And the call, that's it. I cannot make a mistake. Oh, big bag bully, big boy bullying on a small boy. Um Battle Song Berserker, but D minus just as a start. I can see it being an F, but maybe sometimes too much mana to pay as well. Battle Song Berserker for 3 and a red. It's a 3/4. Whenever you attack, target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains menace until your turn. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Whenever you attack, it
Yep.
that's really nice.
It's very similar to a card we just saw, a card I loved.
Which
The
one?
most valuable Slayer, right? Very similar. Makes it
Oh.
really hard to like. You play it and you attack, immediately get an effect. So it's basically it comes into play effect that keeps on going. It's going to make it hard for them to, like I said, it's going to make them hard for them to block. It's going to deal them a little extra damage. I think this card's great, especially this is a lower power format. Yeah, you say B minus?
B minus because it's a lower power format. I don't think the Slayer is a B minus.
Oh, I thought the Slayer was Slayer for me was a C plus or whatever based on this thing, but I love the Slayer. Battle Song Berserker.
What are you gonna give this the Berserker?
B minus, perfect. I don't like this as much as the removal necessarily. It's going to be need dependent, but
it's a lower power level, right? Where this is because then it becomes better. You don't have like crazy 4-drops.
Yeah.
Or crazy 3-drops or crazy 2-drops.
B minus as well for me.
Yeah, that's a lot. For a 4-drop.
Strong Box Raider. Red 2 for a 5/2. All right, I'm interested. When this creature enters, if you attack this turn, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Choose one of them until the end of your next turn. You may play that card. All right, so this is like reasonably statted. Obviously, it just trades with everything. It trades with 2-drops, but it's drawing you a card. You need to trigger the raid. I think red is pretty good at triggering raid. You're going to cast this at 6 mana or turn 5 or turn 6 a lot. You're just going to make your land drop with it or whatever. I don't know. I like it. Solid. I'll give it a C plus.
I don't know. It's the raid is a big problem, right? You gotta attack unless like if you don't attack, this card is complete garbage.
Agree.
So
it's still a creature. It still hits hard. You can still.
I mean,
cast
5. I don't think it hits very not hard in my opinion. Like because it's a
5. 5 is a lot of damage.
Yeah, 5.
But yeah,
5 is a lot of damage, but it's also no damage on a 5/2 for 4 mana. This like doesn't hit at all, in my opinion. It's just like it's nice because it's card advantage, but
yeah,
5-drops for 2 mana, they just don't.
It is going to be bad in blue red. Blue red's not going to be attacking very often.
The problem is also when this is bad when you're behind or slightly behind, and for its stat line it's really bad, and it's even worse that to make it playable card, you do need to attack, right? So you better be fine with attacking, and then it's never gonna like this never puts that check on the opponent that we talked about yesterday or 2 days ago, where you play a 4-drop and they gotta like react or something. I think it's got shit. I'm just gonna give it a D.
It's not going to break off your opponent's attacks. Absolutely not.
I think I'm just gonna give it a D plus. I'm gonna give it just a D plus. This is one of the biggest differences we have in a grade.
It is. I lowered mine to a C. The fact that blue red isn't going to be able to trigger it as much as
that's pretty big
downturn for me.
And the fact that you're gonna be less interested in drawing cards in your aggressive decks that like attacking, you'd rather play something that's gonna continue attacking well, I think, than drawing you a card. I don't think this card really has a place.
I think it's the top end of any aggro deck. This card's going to be excellent, but yeah. We will see.
We will see. This is a big difference. I love big differences, and then I love to see like who was more correct.
Yeah, we can go back. We can go back and look at it. I'm going to read this one because my homies love this card. Hitagetsu's second right. I don't even know how to say it. Rent 3 instant. Target players is at exactly 10 life. this player, that they take 10 damage. F, obviously, but the memes are A+.
Yeah, well, it's F, yes. Memes A+. I can agree with that. Maybe we're gonna have a meme grade in the future, but not yet.
Yeah.
Dragon Trainer for 3 and double red.
Should I put ceiling A+ for that card? If they're a 10 life, it is an A+.
No, there's no ceiling. Like the ceiling is when you're playing a deck that's very good at putting opponent exactly on 10. But what is that? Yeah.
Hey, you were wrong about how many dragons. You said there was only one other dragon. I see another dragon. It was just a hidden dragon.
Yeah, there is one more. There's a Shivan dragon that's gonna come up next.
Yeah, and this one.
This one I didn't know. I forgot about it. 5 mana 1/1. 5 mana 1/1. But it makes a 4/4 dragon when it enters. That's amazing.
Yeah, this card is great.
That's amazing. This is the best uncommon?
This is what you want to run away together with, right?
Oh shit. Yeah, this one, the 6-drop actually as well. Oh my goodness, that's nice. Okay, this card is crazy. It's a 4/4 freaking dragon that makes a 1/1. Jesus. So I don't know. It's interesting. They've gone back on some cards and make them like pretty damn weak, and then they made like really good, a better Sarah's Angel and a better Errol Mental.
Didn't they make this card once and it cost 6 mana? Something similar to this. They did. Yeah, they made it was a white card.
Really?
Yeah, it was a white card that made a 4/4 Angel token.
I don't
6
know.
mana.
This is amazing. I'm giving this like a B or B plus.
Yeah, I'll say B, but I am taking it over a braid.
Oh, easy. B.
Yeah.
B or B plus. Taking this over any removal spell.
All right, let's move on to Shivan Dragon. Red 4. 5/5 flying with the fire breathing ability. Shivan Dragon, a classic. Closes the game really quickly, which I do like. You're going to deal them. It's going to attack for a lot more than 5 most of the time if it survives or whatever. But doesn't have an ETB. It's expensive. Not really.
Not that big.
Kind of part of any of Red's plans. But I'm usually going to play a copy of it if I have it as my top end, unless I have better top end. And if you have better top end, that's always nice too. And then you won't, because I usually don't like to play more than 1 6-drop in my deck. But it's just it's I don't know. I'll give it a. I'm torn between C- and D+. I'll give it a D+.
I'm not
super
torn
excited
between those. I'm just gonna give it a D or D-. I think this is what I want to be doing for 6. Dodge is a good amount of removal, I guess. Especially in the red.
There's just not that much good top end in this format, so I kind of feel like any kind of reasonable top end I might be interested in.
I'm just gonna give it a D. It could be lower, but single-bodied 6-drops are problematic, I think. Start it as a D. D seems fine as a start.
All right, got to move on to the rares now.
Yeah, the first up, it's Kellen, Planar Trailblazer. Before we do that, how do you like red?
I honestly don't, unless I'm drafting blue-red. Like every other archetype just seems like it's going to be bad to me.
Yeah, maybe.
Like you could be heavy black with the. It's just support color. The creatures look terrible, absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I think red was the weakest graded color that we did. Like, other than removal,
it's weird because the uncommons seem to be very good.
Yeah,
and so we'll have to see how the rares are as well. And I do think that something I think that I'm valuing a lot more these days is I think depth at uncommon is really important.
Oh, depth of uncommons.
Depth at uncommon is one of the most important things.
Yeah,
determining how strong
it is. Because like they've been making uncommons much better than commons lately.
Yeah.
So I think that's the huge part. Like if they're kind of similar but good, that's whatever. But they've been making them like, oh, this is the card. It overshadows every common. But yeah, the creatures seem kind of shit in red. That's
they seem very bad.
Blue red, I don't know. The heroic reinforcements are amazing, but we're gonna see how that is gonna work.
Yeah.
Okay, first up, Kellen, Planar Trailblazer. For a red, we got a 2/1. For 1 and a red, if Kellan is a scout, it becomes a human fairy detective and gains whenever Kellan deals combat damage to a player. Exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Yeah, that's not easy. Card this turn. Okay, for 2 and a red, if Kellan is a detective, that's another level and it becomes a 3/2 human fairy rogue and gains double strike. I mean, when you upgrade it the first time, it does not. That's nothing. No flying, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard in limited to connect with the
Varma 2/1.
like you can't even curve it out, right? You play this, then the next turn you activate it, you can't get anything out of it.
You cannot get
this
anything,
turn.
yeah.
So you've already played your land.
But once you spend 6 mana into this, that's where it gets kind of nice.
Yeah, it's a really good Savannah Lion, right? That's the way I would. It's not a it's not a bomb by any means, but it's much better than your average Savannah Lion because it is a mana sink that'll scale into the game quite well.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on a B- or a B. B.
I'm on a B-, but yeah, like I think it's worse than the good uncommons and whatnot. But
I think I'm just gonna give it a B. I think it's better than most removal. I pick it over most removal. Basically every removal spell. Alright, this is nice.
Alright. Sear Slicer Goblin. Red 1 for a 2/1. Raid. At the beginning of your end step, if you attack this turn, create a Goblin creature token. That's solid 2-drop. Ideally, you're triggering this every turn, and you're just getting a Goblin every turn. Obviously, that's not going to happen when you play it on turn 2 most of the time. But deeper into the game, it's solid. It kind of looks. I think it looks a little bit better than the 2/1 stat line is kind of bad. You're not going to get to attack it into a lot of boards, so you're going to be attacking with other creatures. It is one of those things that does check. Like you're going to lose a lot of games if you keep a slow hand against this on the draw. The people who are keeping hands that don't play anything until turn 3 on the draw, this thing's kind of just going to run them over. But it's just a solid 2. I don't know.
I think it's amazing.
I will give it. I'll give it a C+, I guess, since it's a good 2.
I mean, I think it's amazing. Like you can just attack with a 1/1, right? But I think this is amazing.
Yeah, it's like got the Horde Collar thing where you attack with the 1/1, you get another 1/1 even if it dies or whatever. But
it's a 2-drop. I love this. I would say this is like Healer Hawk into this, baby.
Yes, it is very nice with the 1-drops. That's for sure.
I'm into this, really. Like I'm on a B- at least for it. Maybe a B? Give it a B. I think this is great. It's just like in the end it's a
this one will be interesting because I wouldn't say I'm confident with my rating, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to play out as well as it looks.
This makes a 1/1. That's if you didn't like mess up your turns and it makes a 1/1, just 1/1. That's really nice. That's really good. That's like a B.
It's a slightly better dragon fodder in that situation.
Slightly better what?
Dragon fodder if it only makes 1/1 ever, right? Obviously, it's got the threat of making more and all that.
It is a 2-drop, right? You're not like spending a lot of mana.
It is, yes. Yeah.
Next up, we got Electro Duplicate for 2 and a red. It's sorcery. Create a token that's a copy of the other creature you control, except it has haste. And at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this token. You can flashback it for 2 and double red. This is horrible.
Yeah,
this is just horrible. Great. For limited, it's like
this is another one of those cards that you if you have a bunch of Thrill of Possibilities and Terrors, maybe you can throw it in your deck. But other than that, I mean, and some comes into play effect stuff that you actually want. But yeah, it's a bad card. It's basically an F.
I'm gonna give it an F. Yeah.
Yeah.
So much mana. What the fuck?
Yeah, this is a weird. I don't know why they keep making cards like this. I'm sure some people use them for something. They must, right?
Yeah, somebody uses them for something. For sure. I don't know what it is, but it's something.
Yeah. All right, Flamewake Phoenix, another card that I've played quite a bit with. I did really well with Hollow One back in the day. Flying Haste, red 1. for a 2/2 and attacks every combat possible at the beginning of your combat on your turn. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you may pay red. If you do, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. I love this card. I don't know if it really fits super well into red specifically, but it's going to be nice in the terror deck. It's going to be nice in red-green. Just a solid creature. It's not a bomb by any means, but it's a excellent little curve filler. I'll give it a C+. Hard to cast.
It is hard to cast. It's a flying haster. Sometimes you don't want to be attacking. I guess then you can play it for that turn at least post combat. It needs to attack every turn. I can see this card actually performing way worse than it looks. Especially if it's.
I don't remember when it was originally printed. I don't remember it being that good. It was in the Morph set, right? The not Dragons Turkey, the one before it, Faber Forge, maybe.
Cons of Turkey.
Sorry, what did you say?
It was the cons.
Cons, yeah. It was the cons block. I'm just trying to remember specifically what set. Was it actual cons that was in? I don't remember. It wasn't that good in that set, but it was fine. That set was different though, because that was like you were trying to draft 3 colors most of the time.
Yeah, I don't know if it was there, but what do I want to give it? I don't know. I'm just gonna give it I guess C+ is okay. But I can see. Let's go to a C. Like attacking each combat if able is big deal. I think it could be a problem.
Always be attacking.
Especially if there are flyers that, like the 2-3 flyers that the opponents might have. Just C seems fine as a start. I guess maybe it's gonna be better, but not a big fan of combat being chosen for me. If it's like a 3/3, if it hits like a truck or something, that's different.
Yeah.
Next up we have Slag Storm. There is not much reach in the set, I guess, but there is a lot of flyers. I don't know. Slag Storm for 1 and double red. Choose one. It deals 3 damage to each creature or deals 3 damage to each player. These have been significantly better than 2 damage just because it hits basically everything. Sorry, what?
Yeah, it's all the 3 drops. It hits all the 3 drops.
Yeah, and it hits all the 2 drops. Like the 2 damage doesn't really hit all the 2 drops. And 2 damage hits basically no 4 drop, 5 drop, but 3 damage does hit a good amount of 4 drops usually, and some 5 drops even, but usually it's 4 drops. So you're hitting a lot more. It's not even 100% more. It's like a lot more. It's more than that. But it's red. I don't know how much red wants this. Maybe in a terror deck, you have the Balmor there.
It's excellent in the terror deck. Excellent in the terror deck, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but
it's really nice.
It's going to work with the Cyclops. It's going to work with the terrors themselves.
Yep.
But that's basically the only place you really want it.
You like trilling the trill shit like that. Opponent develops the Borb and then you kill everything and you reduce the cost even more.
Exactly. Sorry, my ring app there. I'm gonna give this. I don't. Should we ceiling it?
Ceiling gotta be ceiling. You're never gonna play it in Boros. You're not gonna play it in Gruul, I think.
Yeah.
You're not gonna play it in Black Red. So you pick it as a D+, but ceiling of a B-.
Yeah, that sounds good. I was gonna say maybe C+, but yeah, B- is probably more. If I'm already blue-red, B- sounds right. Yeah. B-.
I think it would be ceiling as a B.
I agree with.
This is gonna be better than a Braid in those decks, right?
Situationally, you might not have all the pieces. Is the thing. You might have to play a lot of filler creatures.
That's true.
All right, Krenko, Mob Boss, red 2, 3/3. Tap, create X 1/1 red goblin creature tokens, where X is the number of goblins you control. So we have like Fanatical Firebrand. We have the 3/2 raid thing. We have the 2/2.
We have 2 make 2 1/1s.
What did you say?
Make 2 1/1 goblins.
Oh yeah. I mean, it doesn't really matter how much you have as long as you have some. This thing's going to scale pretty quickly. It's kind of unfortunate. Wasn't there a goblin version of that Axe Guard cavalry that they printed at some point?
I think probably, but it's also nice with the cavalry, right?
It is. Yes, it still is. It would be even nicer if they made them both goblins or whatever. But I mean, this is a great card. I don't know if it's quite like a bomb. It is a bomb. It does force them to answer it, but if they do, it's just kind of inefficient in that regard. I don't know. I'm toiling between A- and B+.
Same, because it doesn't need a little bit, and then you don't want to trade those goblins for a while.
Correct.
Because you want to exponentially grow, right?
I do think that there's not that much removal that hits it efficiently. Like, dodges disfigure, burst lightning's really expensive, so they're going to get an activation or two out of it before you can do that. I'm going to give it an A-. Maybe it's only a B+, but I'll give it an A-.
Yeah, I'm okay with an A-. The cavalry also being in the set is nice, and some goblin. If you have like one goblin, that's like double.
You only need one goblin in play for it. That's it, and then it just gets crazy. Yeah. It's out of hand.
Because one goblin is just like you can even block with the goblins. Start blocking very soon, and the next turn, and it's like double the scaling, right? Just one more. Next up, we got Twin Flame Tyrant for 3 and double red. It's a flying 3/5. If a source you control will deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it deals double that damage instead. Not that good, I think. Even though it makes your 1-mana removal spells into 8 damage to face, right?
No, it doubles like all your creatures' power too, just in general.
Oh, it's any source. I'm so used to this being non-combat. I'm so used to that.
Yeah, no, it's just anything.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. This is like what, a 6/5 then? Kind of like a 6/5.
Yeah, it's a 5-mana 6/5 flyer at its lowest level. That's its floor.
And everything else. This is amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna be. Is this an A- or a B+?
It's at least an A-.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, they need to kill it.
A- sounds good. It doesn't have an ETB, so it sort of does, but
yeah, A- seems fine. A- it just does so on most boards it does so much. Yeah, A- seems good. Oh, what? Okay.
Rite of the Dragon Caller, red 4. When you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with fly. I always have trouble with these because it seems absolutely cracked to me, right? But you do have to spend basically a whole turn to cast it. But after that, if you have like a single thrill possibility, a single think twice, the game just ends, right? I don't know. I'm going to be taking this card very aggressively. I think it's quite good. More so in decks like blue-red, where you're going to be reactive and you're trying to stabilize, and then once you do stabilize, you play this. Maybe cast a 1-mana spell on turn 7 with it. And in those cases, it's absolutely insane. Obviously, in like your white-red curve-out decks, you're not going to really have anything left in the tank, so it's a lot worse. I'm going to give it a B. Just because it doesn't fit in every deck.
I don't know, man. It's the problem is like it is a 6-mana do nothing, right? But
it is.
Think twice is huge.
Think twice, burst lightning, fleeting distraction. It is like if it costs blue-red 4 is how I'm trying to evaluate it.
This is a trap for most decks, right?
Yeah, you shouldn't put it in them.
But I think I'm going to be picking it as a B as well. I actually think I'm going to be picking it as a B.
I can't imagine you open this card, especially early. I mean, maybe we'll have more information and it's not good enough. But like early, you're just gonna. I can't imagine taking anything over it. So.
Are we being Timmy trapped here? Like it is a 6-mana do literally nothing on that turn.
Yeah. I mean, yes, but I expect in the decks that I'm starting with it, I'm almost always gonna have gas in the tank after.
I'm gonna be on a B. That's how high I'm gonna be picking it, and I can see it being much worse, but also
I can see it going either way. Yeah.
Either way, because it's also if the set is a little bit slower, that's where it goes crazy.
Yes, exactly.
Well, next up we got Etali Primal Storm, which is kind of bad. There is no if it's good or not. It's a 6 mana 6/6. When it attacks, exile the top card of each player's library. Then you may cast any number of spells from among those cards without paying their mana costs. Yeah, okay. It's incredible. This is a bomb, I think. Sure, it's a Caesar that needs to attack, but once it attacks, it's huge. Sometimes it's going to be 2 lands, whatever. It's decently statted. It just ends games a lot of times when it attacks. Not that easy to remove with a lot of removal. I'm just going to give it an A- because it really needs to attack, right? And sometimes it's not going to hit.
Yeah. I'm in the A- B+ camp. Like, this is much worse than what was the other card? I'm going to give it a B+. It's much worse than the dragon, right? The 5 mana dragon. Not much worse, but it's worse. Objectively worse, I think. The dragon that doubles all your creatures' power or whatever. It costs a full less mana. I don't know. I'll give it a B+. I could be underrating it. It's just I hate these creatures, these big clunky creatures
that need to attack, and you're not exactly sure what's going to happen, right?
Yeah. Well, there's that too. Like, you attack, sometimes you hit 2. Like, sometimes this is you're bridging to this. You get there, you attack, you hit a land in some like
and
a 2/2,
to attack again.
and you're like, okay, well, now I'm still dead on board. That wasn't enough or whatever. So
still,
I've always been a little bit more underwhelmed with this card than most people.
Same. I thought it was going to be much more game winning, but it is game winning a lot of times.
Yeah.
Oh,
we got Chandra Flameshaper. New Planeswalker here, I believe. Red 5. Starts with 6 loyalty. Plus 2 loyalty. Add red. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. Choose one. You may play that card this turn. +1. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it has haste. And beginning the end step, sacrifice it. And -4. Chandra deals 8 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers. Yeah, so that -4 is pulling a lot of weight for this card. This card just 8 damage divided any way you choose. It's kind of crazy. It's just a I guess an A for me. I'm not going to A+ it because it's 7 mana, but it's a bomb.
It's a bomb.
Yeah.
What is this, like +2? Exile top 3 cards of your library. Choose one. Okay, I didn't see choose one.
Yeah. It's not a draw 3 on the plus.
yeah.
But many times the play pattern is going to be you play this, you blow up their board, and then if they don't answer it, like, it's just over, right? You get to plus it one time, and then you get to blow up their board again if they happen to rebuild. Yeah.
And even if you just +2 when you play, which you're not gonna do, I think. Even if it's 7 mana, dealing 8 damage to this is so hard. It's so hard.
Yeah, it is.
I would say it's same. It's an A. Literally the same thing like you said. 7 mana. It is not that easy to gather. A lot of times 7 mana cards before you get there, you're gonna lose the game or win the game.
Correct.
So still incredible, crazy good. The next card isn't. We got a reprint from Ixalan, I think. Brass's Bounty, 6 and red. Sorcery: for each land you control, create a treasure token. No, thank you. I'm already gonna have treasure tokens from picks. Yeah, once you pay 7, you don't need more lands or ramp, and that's the only thing this does. You could think about like cute things, right? Make a ton of goblins next turn with that spell, or make them lose a ton of life and then you gain that life. It's just horrible. F, don't play that. Thank you, Steve.
Yep. Same. F. Just never put it in your deck.
Yeah,
no
bye-bye.
circumstance. I'll put it. Moving on to Drakaseth, Maw of Flames.
3/7 drops.
7 mana, red 4 for a 7/7 flying. When it attacks, deal 4 damage to any target, 3 damage to each of up to 2 other targets. I always have trouble with this one because I love like taking this card and kind of sculpting a game plan around it or whatever. But it's so much mana. It's even at 7 mana, sometimes you can't cast it because of the triple red.
No.
And in your most aggressive decks, you're not going to want to play this. You don't want a card sitting in your hand that doesn't do anything. So it's kind of like just doesn't really have a I guess maybe there's a green red ramp of some kind. This would be cool or whatever, but it's not a card I'm going to be taking very highly. And not a card that fits into every red deck, and red is already a weak color. So I guess I'll give it. I'm gonna give it like basically the same grade as Shivan Dragon. So D plus, C minus, C minus. I'll give it a C minus because I like it.
I mean, when it attacks, you win basically always, right?
Yeah.
But this is a big problem. This is a 7-drop that needs to attack.
Exactly.
It's a 7-drop that needs to attack. My God. I'm gonna give it a D plus, but you can make a deck that's better for it. There are picks. There are picks in this set.
It's gotta get that pick up.
It's not nothing. When did we see this card?
The thing is, the decks with picks will not want to play this, right? Most of the time.
I don't know. I've been playing in Kalkheim like decks that have a good amount of late game, and they also have a good amount of picks. It was kind of like a weird curve of a good amount of 2-drops, and then not that many 3-drops, 4-drops. Yeah, and then we go to 5-drops and 6-drops. What do you say? Sorry?
I said you just end up with big holes in your curve where you have a lot of cheap spells and a lot of expensive spells.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have the picks to, that makes sense.
A little bit of a problem in this set, why pick might not be as good, is what is your top end? What are you getting to? When did we see this card, by the way?
What did you say?
When did we see this card?
Oh, this was in might have been Origins. It was.
What about the last time? It was M20.
It was one of those core sets.
M20 or M21, right?
Yeah, maybe. I honestly don't remember. All those sets blur together to me. Wasn't it the set with like the 1/1 fairy thing that when you play this fairy merchant?
What does the fairy merchant do?
It was like a 1/1 for blue. Draw a card for each other one you have in play or whatever.
Oh, what the hell is that?
There was like a core set where you were drafting with bots at the time. That's all they had, and I don't remember drafting that deck. But I think it might have been in that set. I don't remember what that set is, and I'm not even sure that's true. But I kind of remember them being together. All right, moving on to green. You can change the thing over here.
I will change it.
Bushwhack. Yep, I'll read Bushwhack.